Lesson 3-1 is on square roots. You need to be able to interpret and simplify the square of a number and to determine the square root of a number. Vocabulary: powers, bases, and exponents. Powers can be used to show repeated multiplication. So 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 is repeated multiplication. It can also be written as 3 to the 5th power, where 3 is the base and 5 is the exponent. A number or expression written with an exponent is an exponential form. The square root of a number is another number that, when multiplied by itself, gives the original number. A square root does not have to be an integer. When an integer is multiplied by itself, the result is a perfect square. So if you look at this table, it's the first 15 perfect squares. So 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 4 is 16, and so on. So the square root of 1 is 1, the square root of 4 is 2, the square root of 9 is 3, the square root of 16 is 4. I will expect you to be able to tell me the first 15 perfect squares. So this table is pretty important. Area of a rectangle is what we focus on for squaring numbers because it's a geometric representation of what's actually happening. So the first example, example A, find the area of the rectangle. The rectangle has been divided into squares. Assume that the length of each side of a small square is 1 centimeter. This rectangle is 3 centimeters by 5 centimeters. So the area equals 3 times 5, or 15 centimeters squared. I'm going to skip that one for now. Example B, find the area of the square below. Do you need to know both the length and the width of the square to be able to determine its area? Since it's a square, all sides are equal. So that means I know all sides are 4. So to find the area, I just need to take the side times the side, which is repeated multiplication. So I could write that as 4 squared as a power, and 4 squared is 16. So the area of this square is 16 centimeters squared. So then let's go back to this one. Example D, the area of the floor of a square booth is 36 feet squared. What is the length of the side S of this booth? So kind of like in the last example, we know the area though. We know the area is 36, but we know that's coming from taking the side squared. So that means what number times itself gets me to 36? Hopefully you already knew that, but you could go back up to this handy dandy table and find that 36, we've got the square root of 36 is 6, because 6 times 6 6 times 6 is 36. So in this example, the side length is 6 feet. And example E, solve the equation s squared equals 36. We kind of just did that, but in order to undo a square, we can square both sides. The square root of 36 is 6, so s equals 6. So if I picked another perfect square, and I said x squared equals 144, in order to solve this, I could square root both sides. So x equals 12. Because 12 times 12 will get me 144.